We are Black and Curious. I'm Kandron.
What's good is your girl Dehjai.
And if you've never been here before, we talk about life, pop culture, and the intersection of all of those things and how they play out in our lives. So,
Yes.
welcome,
Welcome, welcome.
welcome, welcome.
So this week, Kendra actually has our topic, but before we get down to the nitty gritty, what you sipping on, girlfriend?
All right, if you've been here long enough, you know the doll loves an old fashioned. So, I have a blood orange old fashioned, but I added ginger ale, which is not classic, but I did add some because I need to be able to sip um, over the long period of while we're recording.
Hello, we don't want to be drunk at the last episode,
Mm-mm.
even though the last episode do be fun sometimes.
The last episodes get cute when we're drunk, okay?
Oh, shoot. Okay, so today the kitchen chemist was at it again.
Oh boy.
But we didn't dip into the botanicals. We still have it though.
Bless his
Um,
shirt.
this
So sick of those
is
botanicals.
girl. Listen, the ghost of botanicals is correct.
Oof.
This is pomegranate juice, Pellegrino, and a dash of rum.
Ooh,
I just had some white rum in the house, so I was like, oh, I'll mix that in there.
I like that. That sounds delicious.
Mm-hmm.
So, our topic for today actually it's from me via Demetria L. Lucas. So,
We love
you
her.
listen to her podcast. She always talks about level 10 experiences and how she's living in LA and she's sort of searching for the level 10s, like she's not having 10 days in LA. So she
Mhm.
had been in Ghana and was saying how many 10 days she was having. So it got me thinking about like level 10 experiences that I've had in my life. So I have a little list and we can go back and forth.
I'm like, let's do it because I'm like, I don't feel like I have that many, but carry on.
Oh no. So like first let's talk about kind of what qualifies as a level 10 experience for you.
Um, I feel like my definition, my working definition at this point is like just pure bliss in every sense of the word. And
Mm,
that's why I feel like I haven't really had that many. And so like I am more in the line of Demetria in the sense of like that is something that I want to seek out and like have put more intention into making those experiences for myself because they're not just
mm,
going to appear. Like the ones that just appeared, the days of the ones that just appeared or have long since passed. Like, childhood, you have level 10 experiences.
yeah.
College, we have level 10 experiences. Like one of my ultimate experiences is with you.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's not even on my list, but it totally should be. What a disaster. Go.
Like, because we were young as hell. We were like
Mhm.
20, 21 or something like that. It was cold and we were just riding around trying to figure out what to do. We stumbled upon some of this is one of the stories. So
Because
this,
this is going a different direction from the one that I have in mind, but go ahead.
right. Because I just thought about that other one. Um, Shout out to you, homie, that used to live in the towers.
Yeah, man.
Him and his fine ass roommate. Um, but no, the one that sticks out to me is I don't even remember what all was going on. I just know that we were riding around through the city that night. We hung out with some of the bros, and then we ended up at the one I had a crush on at his apartment. We were like outside his apartment with his line brothers. And Kendrick.
Oh my god, not this one. Oh my god. This is not where I knew this was going. Go ahead. Oh my god.
We were just being silly and
Just
like
being
we were
silly.
standing out there waiting so long. The Kendra was just like, I mean, goddamn, I just may as well stand over here on this tree. Be like, you want a date?
It
And
was
like,
very muchy.
yes, but the thing is, it's a level 10 for me because we were just having a good time. Like,
Yeah.
we weren't doing anything. Like, we was
No,
literally
you
just
weren't.
standing outside at like 3 o'clock in the morning, cutting up and cackling and being silly.
Yeah.
So like that's one of the few that I remember off the top of my head. My eyes are watering so bad, y'all.
It's
See, I'm too
fine.
far
I have another one that it's like so random, But one of my like it's like a series of level 10 experiences of the deluxe apartment in the sky. So Dehjai had this beautiful apartment that she had in Richmond, and it was sort of like the central hub. And we
Yeah,
would
it was
just
so close to
like,
campus.
yeah, it was so close to campus, and like other friends would come over. We would like make food. Um, Twink, shouts out to Twink.
Oh yes.
Was in there like elbow deep in dishes, and we were just like, we've done something right here.
Like, yes, God, because that's what we all discovered, that we love a man to be in the
Like,
kitchen cleaning. Okay, that's what this is gonna be like. All right.
well,
Oh my God, that was the same day that one of the friends to the show, who will hopefully be on next month, she had busted her ass because remember we had just cleaned the floors.
yes,
And so they was running back and down the hall, back and forth down the hallway, because literally it was a deluxe apartment in the sky. We were all running back in the hallway, sliding.
it was like these beautiful, slick, like parquet floors, so beautiful.
Yes, such a beautiful apartment.
Yeah.
Like,
so that was like one of those times, and like there were times we would just like lay in the middle of the floor and just be like looking up at the ceiling. And at this time, like I was still like relatively pure. Like I wasn't drinking, or like we weren't drunk. This isn't why we were doing any of this. It was just we were just being silly. So like yes, I would definitely qualify that as a level 10 experience.
You know what? Also, and this isn't necessarily a level 10, but this is a really good memory for me. And when I realized how close I was to Kandron, she had started to go natural. And so she was trying to figure out like how to, do this hair. And I was like, hey, I have this waving iron. Maybe we can work with the fluffiness of your hair and then just put the waves in it.
Journey.
And like, but like
when
we did it
was a journey.
Well, remember we did it. You sat down and I did it, and then because you already had a part kind of like this, and then we just kind of like raked it through. And then when you looked at it, you were like, "Bitch, I love this."
Yes, and that was my look for a while.
Yeah,
because I didn't know what else to do. Like I was sort of second wave natural, so I was like.
But it was so like cute. Like her look was like when we figured that out, I was like, oh, I got an idea. Why don't we use this? And it was just like, for me, the closest factor was more or less like my friend trusted me to like put heat on her natural hair. Cause like that could be a journey in the wrong way.
It was a journey, period. Thanks be to God that journey is over.
Hello.
That I figured out what works for me.
Struggle through it. Okay. That was when we didn't have no products. I think Can 2 came out by the time we had already been natural for 2 years plus.
Struggle bus. Like it was a struggle. And this was like I don't know if it was completely pre YouTube, but it was before I had the sense enough to get on YouTube and try to figure out what was going on with my hair.
Yeah, it was pre YouTube, because YouTube really wasn't a thing when we were in college. I think YouTube kicked off like when you graduated, after you graduated.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying nobody was creating content at that point, but I'm saying I didn't know about it. So, well, I will jump from your deluxe apartment in the sky to my deluxe apartment in the sky.
Hello, her shit was better than mine. You can see the damn Biscayne Bay.
One of my big level 10 experiences was my 29th birthday. I just decided I was going all out. I was leaving my 20s with a bang. Mm-hmm. And I had this like, well, the term for it now would be like a progressive party or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I had this like, the party started at like after work and then went until like wee hours of the morning. So I started off at happy hour that was near my job and near like where all of my coworkers would come. And we had happy hour, we drank a lot. And then I went to Sugarcane, which is one of my favorite restaurants in Miami, or was at the time. I don't know if I would still say it is, but it's still good. Still good. Mm-hmm. So we went to Sugarcane, we had dinner, and then I had baked cupcakes and I bought like tons of like Prosecco. So there was like a bubbles and Prosecco pregame before the function. Man, that like literally my friends, I have friends that still talk about this party. Literally, like all of my guy friends, I had these very small cups. So everybody was very drunk and didn't realize that that was happening because the glasses were so small. They're like this tall. You grab a cupcake. I had like all these different flavors of cupcakes. Um, very small glasses. And my guy friends just anointed themselves as the servers. So they were walking around with bottles, topping everybody off like all throughout the night.
Yeah.
So
Hello, thank you.
right. So we got from brunch at like, I mean, not brunch, we got from dinner at like maybe 9 or 10, and then hung out at my place for another like couple hours, and then went down to Party Lounge, RIP to Party Lounge, and like danced and like had a little, we just kind of, it was like, it's sort of like a grungy, or was a grungy sort of spot, but they always have really good music. So we all like went down there and it was just a good time. Like people came to stuff. A lot of people were having so much fun. They like left, went home and changed and came back out. Like
damn, that's a good time.
like
Okay.
not even talking about like down the street, like talking about like 30-45 minutes left and came back to go back to the next function. So it was like some people dropped off after dinner, some people picked, jumped in at the cocktail hour. It was just a good time. And like literally for probably about a year, people were just like, I don't know what happened there, but it was just a good time. Like we just had a good time at your house. And it was just like, that was one of those times where I was just like, I love entertaining. I love this vibe, because it wasn't a lot of people. It was like I think the height of it was the cupcakes and champagne, and that might have been like 20 people.
That's still
But it was
dope.
it was just a good time.
Yeah,
It was just a
man.
good time. And like I said, some people went to everything, and then some people, dropped in, dropped out, like, okay, I'll come to happy hour, ain't going to dinner, but I'll meet you back at your place and we'll go. It was that. It was so cool. It was so cool.
Well, yeah, I love that. What else? Since you mentioned birthdays, I guess I can talk about I mean, it was a 10 and then it wasn't a 10, but it was a 10 because we were together. So for my 25th birthday, I drove to Atlanta. And Kandron had just driven, or no, you had only been there a week or something like that, because you had just left school. So you were staying in Atlanta for the summer or whatever. Yes. So you had like the little studio set up. So we get there and like Kandron is like hyped that her people is here. So like we're doing every fucking thing. She's taking us all over the place. And one of my favorites was when we went to the Cheesecake Factory. Y'all, Kandron is funny as hell, just so you know. We went to the Cheesecake Factory and like they, like back in the day, I don't know if they still do this, but they used to have like these little tea light candles on the table. And so this fool
Joan of Arc in my former life.
You were sitting there, candle in hand, and I have this picture. I have to find it. I have a photo of her on my Facebook. I snapped it mid-sentence, and I was like, "Yo, like," but it was that type of energy the whole time.
Yeah.
Because we went to, I think, was that the same night that we went to the underground?
Yes. I think it was.
So Twink, shout out to you, Woo.
Shout out to you, Twink. Twink is showing up a lot.
He is. He's a part of my, like, if I really think about like the good ass times I've had, he's definitely a part of it. But Twink was like the chauffeur, and Twink doesn't drink. So he was like, whatever, I'll take y'all out. We'll all go to the underground or whatever. As we were leaving, and for some reason, Kandron and the excommunicated friend, they don't remember this, but like we were coming out of the garage and this man was drunk and like tuck and rolled all over the hood of Twink's car. And we were all, because he wasn't driving. He just was like, he inched up and then he stopped and then the man ran into the car.
I don't remember that.
What the fuck? Yes.
Oh boy.
That happened on that trip. You took us to I don't even remember the name of the place, but it was near the Coca-Cola factory. And like, I think now that area has, I think it was in Midtown because the W Hotel is where that club used to be.
Mm.
I ain't been to Atlanta in a minute, but I remember
Yeah, I don't remember.
some of the places. But anyway, so it was just that whole weekend was a good time. The reason why it
Yeah.
was not such a great time is because the friend that I had brought with me, for some reason, thought that I had paid for the whole stay. And so they were just going to be riding along and having a good time. And so they ended up not having enough to, you know, do the functioning of it all. And me and Kandron ended up having to cover them. So that's why I was like, it was a 10 and then it wasn't a 10, because like that happened in the middle of the thing. And I was just kind of like,
I think of like, sorry, my tag is itching my neck.
No, it was like, ooh, girl.
Like, ooh. I think a lot of my 10 experiences, which I guess kind of leads me to a question. A lot of my 10 experiences are around travel. Mm-hmm. And so just a little highlight reel here. The octopus I had in Greece is literally the best octopus I've ever had in my life, and I'm never going to stop talking about it. It was just so good. And going to the beach in Colombia, and like we had a cabana, and it was like white sand beaches. They cooked us fresh food, made us fresh mojitos like right on the beach. Okay. It was just,
that's a vibe.
It was just a vibe. My LA trip, which I vlogged here, was just so needed and such a good time. So I'll link the vlog here. Yeah. So yeah, like a lot of my stuff is very travel related, but it got me thinking, like, what does it mean to like live on a 10? Because I don't know that, like, I certainly don't live on a 10 here. Like,
a conversation comes, we'll be talking about like the mundane things that our lives have fallen into.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to that, but like, I definitely probably don't get above a 5 all that often in Miami, which is part of the reason why I want to leave here. But like, do you think it's possible or like doable to live like 10 days, having 10 days like all the time? Or is it something like, how do you get there?
I don't think that I would like, so for me, I think maybe it's a meter thing. Like a level 10 could be me being asleep on my damn couch on New Year's because that's what the hell I wanted to do.
Right.
You know, like,
I hear you.
So I guess it's more or less like how you gauge these experiences and what constitutes it being a level 10. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the level, because I was just at peace after like for that experience. Not to say that this is one of my level 10s, but like just generally speaking, considering all the shit that had gone on in the last, 2 months, to be able to be still and just fall asleep with like ease was blissful.
Man, we can get back to that with the over 35 conversation, because maybe sleep and like, especially after having anxiety and like sometimes anxiety coming around, knocking on your door, not being able to sleep. Like before, when I was younger, I would just fall out. Like I would fall out anywhere. Anybody can tell you that. Like if I sat down long enough, I would fall out. I would be asleep.
Balled up.
And now it's like,
sleep.
Yes, I'm asleep. And like now it's like, girl, I can't beg sleep to get here. Like, but we can come back to that. But for me, I think like level 10 experiences, like, I don't know, like, I'm not sure, but I would definitely like to be having more than I'm having now. Yeah. And it kind of like one of my, I didn't ever talk about this on when we talked about our New Year's traditions, but every New Year I pick out a word, and my word this year is vibrant, because I just want to have a brighter life. Like I want to be living a brighter life that's more, just like more that I feel more like myself. A lot of times I don't feel that I'm living to my not even my true potential, but just like my true energy level.
So like in moments of realization such as that, what do you do? And then my other question is like, are you willing to do the things to make your life vibrant,
Yeah.
like.
And I think so relatedly, I don't know if you follow my leak, but she talks a lot about like just being interesting, and I'm trying to just invite that sort of energy and finding ways to be interesting and interest and finding interesting things to do right where I am, and not in it doesn't always have to be like making some big change, because I am a person who will just be like, I'd just like to end all of this and just like make a change, like pack it up and move. Like I've done that before multiple times. And so but life is more complicated at this age, job and all of that stuff. So it's like, okay, how can I enjoy my life more right where I am? And that's what I'm looking toward doing. So I also found shouts out to the Traveling Child, which is like a travel vlog, but it's like her whole entire family. She's lovely. She's like Jamaican. She lives in South Florida, but she has a travel, you know, site and an Instagram with her family, and she talks about Airbnb experiences. So I want to find like just stuff to do here that I find interesting. That's not just like going to the beach, going out to eat. Like I've done that round and round and round again.
Yeah.
And like I said before, like I had a good time the first few years I was in Miami, but I want to find a way to like have more fun here and in
Right.
where I am in life, whether that's like eating something different or cooking something different or baking or experimenting in other ways. I think I can find more ways to be vibrant that don't require me to like book a trip or whatever, and try to invite more level 10 experiences into my life on a regular basis.
Yeah, I get that. I feel like this portion of this conversation definitely lends to the next conversation we're gonna have.
Yeah.
So I would say let's put a pin in this part.
Yeah.
But so to get back on the train of like the level 10 experiences. I don't know that, I had them in college because, young and foolish and still childlike because you don't really have no real responsibilities.
At all.
I would say this is also a college thing. When I was 20, when I turned 21, I was 21 for 2 weeks. I flew off to Italy to see my sister. And I stayed there for a week, and I had never flown out of the country, let alone flown anywhere by myself. And so like that was a huge deal. Like I was super nervous about like, speaking, because I had to go through France. And so I was super nervous about speaking to the people in the airport and not wanting to be offensive and wanting to try to at least speak their language to communicate, to ask like, where's the bathroom, like stuff like that. And like I did all of that, and then I got there, and then they were all just super nice to me. And maybe it was because like I've been told since I was little from elders, like older people, that I carry like the sunshine with me. And so like it disarms people, or some folks really just be like very turned off by the sunshine. I don't know. But like that, I feel like that was the one experience that I've had in my life where I was treated literally like I was carrying the sunshine, with the exception of when I was flying home and I was talking to an African woman. I don't remember what country she was from, because this is almost 20 years ago at this point. But she was saying something about her living in Venice. And I was just like, oh, wow, like, are you here as a student? Are you like, did you have to learn the language? I'm just asking because I'm, just young and don't really know. I've never really been outside of the country. And like, she was asking me all these questions about me. So I was like, oh, okay, let me ask questions about you. I thought we were having a really great time. She just like scoffed at me like I was so ignorant, and I was just like, I'm only 21 years old. Like I literally just turned 21 and I've never been out of the country, so I really don't know, which is why I'm asking. And so once I said that, she felt really, really bad, because she was like, oh, okay, no, yeah. And then she just started answering my questions and like became really sweet again. But like my whole experience with anybody there, everybody was super, super nice. So like I think being out of the country and even though I had like a cloudy moment with the lady, like she immediately was just kind of like, oh, you just young and dumb. Like after the fact, because I was like, I don't know, like but being there and going to the different monuments and seeing like I didn't really do the gondola stuff because my sister lived in Aviano, which is like an hour north of Venice, but you fly into Venice to get there. It was just a good time. Like I think the biggest level 10 of that whole trip was when we went to a club on a beach, and the club itself was over the ocean water, and so like they had like a window that like looked down at the ocean floor, and like dancing on top of this.
Oh, that's cool.
It was dope. It was very dope. I had a great time.
Yeah. I think, like I said before, a lot of my experiences are travel based, and I think like some of it is just a sense of freedom. Obviously you're on vacation, no responsibilities, like that's lovely. That's always a lovely feeling. And honestly, like I completely unplug when I go on vacation, which I know is maybe unpopular. I don't know. I'm like, no, I don't want to put no travel plan on my phone. Nope, don't care. I don't care if it's free. Don't want it. Like whoever I can't FaceTime, I'm gonna have to talk to him when I get back, child. Like
I'm only gonna be gone for a week or two.
But just having that, it's just like
for months.
Yeah, just having that, like, whew, it's amazing. So I think like for me, the experiences that I can sort of pinpoint is like this feeling of freedom, a freedom of like a feeling of exploration, which is like the part that comes around, going to new places. And and the other experiences would be like having a lot of friends around and being able to like cook and have fun with them. Like most of my experience, like my level 10s that are not outside of the country are around that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I just thought about something too. Another experience was also being at that same club afterwards. We had left. It was, the let out. And we were all it was a whole bunch of young Black people. We were all just outside. And it's like 3:00 in the morning. And then at some point there was some of the guys, they're military, they're just running around and being stupid and like, loud and obnoxious and like messing with the guys that were on their like scooter bikes or whatever. But it had to be like 20 of us just outside. And the police were there. They never said anything to us.
Yeah.
And it's weird that I forgot about that until now. But like, I remember feeling at that age, like, damn, this could never happen back home. They were just being obnoxious, but they weren't really doing anything like.
Right, they weren't bad. I mean, they were bothering people, but they weren't like doing anything like that.
Yeah, no fights or walk out. They were just loud, and like running around and skipping and laughing, and and it was just like to be there and see that at 21 and know like the experiences that I had had as a teenager and even younger as a group of young Black people together somewhere with the police. Like, I just was like, yo, this shit is different. And I remember after that moment, because I was still there for a couple more days, really paying attention to the culture and the people and how they interacted with brown people, because of meeting that lady, I no longer perceived anybody to just be regular Black. Like, oh baby girl, you're not in America anymore. But like, that was my first time being out of the country, so like it was a bit of a culture shock, but a really, really good one. Like from that moment forward, I was like, I want to retire in Italy. This is where I want to spend the rest of my days, because it was just beautiful. And it's a coastal, where I was at is a coastal city.
Yeah. So that's it for me. Do you have anything else?
No, I just feel sad that like none of my level 10s are in this era of my life. I have none.
I had to think, I won't say I had to think hard, but within the last like few years, I tried to capture a few from each. Like I thought about my list. I was trying, it can't just all be like travel related, because like what does that say about my life that the only way I can be happy is to escape from it? So like
right. Same.
So I kind of like, I thought through it a little bit, but yeah, they are harder to come by at this point in my life. So we can talk about that more in the next conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, that's it. Drop down in the comments, let us know what your level 10 experiences are and how you keep them going.
How do you define them? Like, could it
how you find them, how you keep them going. And until then, like, comment, subscribe, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye, guys.
Laters.